Here are my lever arm shock absorbers. The rear shock's here and the front shock's here. I didn't have to pull them all off the car. In fact, I was missing one shock. I've taken this off my spares car. The shocks appear to be slightly different. The rear's slightly different model, maybe replacement at some stage. Got an end screw-on cap, or that's got a big screw-in plug. Other than that, they seem reasonably sound. Obviously the seals have gone. They're all hardened and cracked. Some don't have much oil in them. This one I just checked has got a reasonable amount of oil. I could send these away to be reconditioned. Finding a place in Australia was a little bit difficult, but I'm sure if I looked hard enough I'd find somewhere. They can cost a fair bit of money to get them completely reconditioned. I thought I'd have a go at it myself. I've seen a video on YouTube, someone actually replacing the seals of a lever arm shock from a MG. Similar very much to these Girlings, with the exception that the top section here is actually got a plate that 4 screws and it screws on. To get these apart, not easy. What you have to do is to be able to get these end caps out. That'll be a challenge. You've got to take the core plug out of there, and I have to take this big plug out, which is like a big core plug. It'll either come out or not. I'll work through that, but what I'll do first of all is just clean up the surfaces around the core plugs that I've got to pull out to stop anything from preventing the removal. And then I'll probably have to apply a bit of heat, certainly to this one, to get it out. I might have to apply a bit of heat to these too. I can't imagine they're going to screw out easily, so I'll see how I go, but I can, if I can get them apart, hopefully replace the main seal in here. I can also clean out the mechanism and check how much wear there is in the shaft. If there's too much wear in the shaft, what a reconditioner would do would to remake the shaft, hard chrome it, put a bearing of some sort in there, but I probably won't go that far. If I have one that's too worn, I'll look at my stock of lever arm shocks and find one that's reasonably sound, except for the seals. So at this stage I intend to pull them apart, replace the seals, clean them up and put them back together, but I'll show how I do that. First step will be just to clean these surfaces here, and then I'll start to pull them out. Now this is a dent puller. It just happens to have a thread that will screw into the top of the cap here. I've just used the torch to apply a little bit of heat on the back edge around here, and this should just pop out. There it goes. Easy enough. Comes out, there's a little seal in there, but I'll leave that there for the moment, and I'll work on the end cap next. And to get these caps out is a lot harder. I made up a tool that would fit into the slot. I tried to open that up just using the blowtorch. didn't work. In fact, I started to bend the tool, so I've resorted to using the oxy, a lot more heat, which I applied around this section here, and when I applied a bit of force to this, it actually came away. So I can now get that out. It took a little bit more effort than I thought, but then again, that's what happens. Some things seem easier than they actually are, but although I was never expecting this to come out easily. It's very hard to even hold it. I should be able to get that plug out. I'm not going to touch it because I applied a fair amount of heat to the side of the flange. Okay. A bit of heat on it, but not too much. Okay, that's out. It's actually still got a bit of fluid in it, but I'll just empty that out, and I'll actually try and get this out. It's got an Allen key. Once again, I'll apply heat around there and see how I go. Alright, heat with the blowtorch around here, not too much. I started to hear the oil inside start to splutter, so I stopped, and then I was able to crack the thread open. So this should now come out. Which it does. I'll just leave that in place for the moment so I don't lose it, and I'll work on the other end of the shock to get the other cap out and the other one of these loose. I find that core plugs are the most unpredictable things to get out. This has taken me about 20 minutes to get out. I drilled a small hole to start with, gradually enlarging it. I tried to pry it up with a screwdriver, I tried to pry it out with a drift here, wouldn't move. I then had to drill another hole alongside it and use a chisel to make a slot. Then finally got the big screwdriver in and levered it out. As I say, very unpredictable things. I know that when I've replaced them on the Daimler 250 on the motor, got them out alright, but put them back in, I couldn't get them to seal. Some didn't. Very unpredictable, but it's now out. It's quite a thick core plug. I needed to get that out so I could actually get to the end of the shaft in here. I'll just show you. You can see the shaft. That's the lever arm shaft. What I've got to do is to actually press that, put it in my press, and push this shaft out through this centre pivot section here, which I understand is splined, so it's the only way to get it out. So I've got to make something to fit in there, maybe a socket will do, and I'll put it in my press. I've got a 20-ton press. It will either come out easily, or like many things, maybe it'll just be stubborn and eventually give way, but we'll put that in the press next. Using the press is always quite scary. You have to have everything properly aligned, And the other difficulty you have with something like this with an arm underneath, you've actually got to have everything level so you can press things out, and room underneath what you've supported for the shaft to move down. So I've had to prop things up and spaces and the use of spanners and so on to get the right levels. Even then, when you start to press, and this is a 20-ton press, and I've already started to press this, you put pressure and pressure and you see things compressing, and then nothing happens. And I'm always wary of just keeping on pressing more and more. What I tend to do is I apply a bit of pressure and get the tension on it, let it sit there for a bit, and then I gradually lower the handle to apply a bit more. Sometimes it will then give, other times it won't. Now I'll press the shaft out. Wasn't too bad once it released its grip on the spline here. Doesn't appear to have too much wear. A little bit of wear there, but not that much. There wasn't much movement in it, so that's now out. That gives me access to the old seal, which is completely shot. Actually, I can probably pull that out. Yep, there it is. A big solid rubber seal. Well, I'm actually going to replace that with modern seals. Hopefully these are the right seals. They're a national seal, that's the part number. And I'll be putting 2 seals in there. They're not as wide as that, but they'll go in there, or they are the right size. So 2 seals will provide ample sealing on the shaft. Now, according to the video that I've seen, I should be able to get the centre piece out. It's meant to be a little bit of an effort, which is, as I can see, it's a bit of an effort. If you could get access to it, it'd be alright. If you didn't have arthritis in your fingers, it'd be even better. Can't quite lift it. It's coming up. And if I use something to pry it up with. Here it comes. Oh, okay. Well, that's the top seal. It goes under the cap there that I took out earlier. Take that off. So that actually has a mark on it, mark in there, which helps you align it when you're putting it back in. I've got to remember that that mark there faces the actual lever. So I'll take that out. That's the dog that pushes the pistons backwards and forwards. So that's out. And then I should be able to slide the pistons out. Once again, if I had bent fingers, I'd be able to get those out. Maybe they'll slide out. Probably they won't. Yes, they're right up in the far end there. There it is. If I can get something down into there, push that out that way. Right, here it comes. Whoop. And there goes the other one. Alright, I've got to mark these, put them back in the right way. So there is one piston. Actually, it's the whole piston. Sorry. As you can see, this is the first time I've pulled these apart. So there's only one piston. I'll keep that up that way at this stage so I can orientate the parts when I put it back in. But the piston looks in good condition. It doesn't seem to be scored, and it's got a mark there which may well be, doesn't look like a score, looks like it was put in there originally, perhaps to allow the fluid through. So that's it, pulled apart. I've still got to see what's inside these. I actually haven't looked in there yet to see what comes out of that. There's another Allen key set up in there, so I'll pull that out in a second and see what's inside that. At this stage it's apart, and I'll just stop the video and just get that out, see how I get that out. Now what's inside here behind these grub screws is this, which is an adjustable pressure relief valve of some sort. A little another Allen head cap goes over a spring, a little seating device at the bottom there, so that's spring loaded. The other end has got similar, except it's also got more adjustment in the centre here, so it can release fluid past the screw. What's the correct adjustment? I have no idea. I think what I'll do is that just see how it's adjusted and just let it be, and if I need to adjust it when it's all back in place, well then I know that I can play around with this and adjust it a little bit more to get better damping. What happens is as the piston comes up, it's a bit hard to see, you mightn't be able to see, but there is a hole in the side of the bore here which goes into here. Piston comes up, pushes fluid into this chamber in here, which then forces it back, obviously back through the system and back into the rear chamber. So interesting design, but very hard to find anything written down about it. At this stage what I'll do is I'll clean everything up, just check the parts, make sure there's no damage. Doesn't appear to be any damage to either the bore, piston, or the mechanisms or the shafts, so this looks pretty good to be cleaned up and reassembled.